is it okay to put myself above everybody else? Or is it wrong? Is it wrong to choose me over pleasing everybody else in the world? Well, if that question is something pending in your heart, where if you put yourself before others, including sometimes your own children, your own family, your own loved ones, your own everything, is it wrong? Do you feel guilty as a result? If you do, what's the story behind that guilt? Where do we learn? At what point do we think that it's wrong to put our own oxygen mask and choose what we need to do and realign our authenticity so that we can manifest the best version of ourselves? So if this resonates with you, stay with me, because I want to share my story. Often in my life, I had to literally mold myself to the structure of a dictatorship, to family rules, to educational rules, to religious rules, just to abide by the world around me. In the process, I was having to be forced to abandon pieces of myself. So I learned, literally, I had to internalize that it was wrong to be me. It was wrong to follow the instinct, for example, to write with my left hand. Imagine that. A child just naturally picks one hand over the other as a preference. I'm sure we can learn to use both, but for whatever reason, my instinct, it was an instinct from within, was to pick things and do things with my left hand. I am left-handed now, but I had to suffer in order to defend that right. And for many years, I thought it was wrong. I was taught it was wrong. I had to go to school and the teacher would beat me up with a wooden ruler until sometimes I had bruises so that I would not use my left hand. I was simply not allowed to use it. I'm not saying that extreme, but how often do we leave pieces of ourselves and we abandon the real us, the genuine, authentic selves that we are, in order to abide and mold and adapt to the environment that surrounds us and the expectations from that environment that eventually are wired inside ourselves, and we learn to believe those are the things we have to do, but truly they don't flow within us. And what happens when we keep postponing ourselves and we keep leaving behind important pieces of the essence of who we are is that we increasingly start feeling frustrated. Does that happen to you? Let's suppose, you really don't want to do something and, your husband or somebody else expects that, puts that expectation on the wedding. I don't know. For example, you have to go to a wedding and they put the expectation on the table. It doesn't matter whether you want to go or not, wear a dress or not, you gotta go. You have to go. And I give you a perfect example of that. When my grandmother, dear grandmother, she was like a spiritual mentor to me, passed away. I had such a close relationship with her that I knew in my heart, literally her spirit came to me when I was walking in the lake. I went running home and I said, I know, Grandma just passed away at this time. She says, how do you know? She says, because I felt it. I felt this light and I wrote a poem about it, how we have to give a transcendental meaning to our lives, because what gives meaning to our lives today, in full essence, gives meaning to our death when we pass away. My grandmother gave me that gift. But when I got home, the expectations was such a regimented way that they expected me to go to the funeral. I did not like funerals. So I'm like, you know what? I wrote the poem that came through my soul when my grandmother came to do that farewell spiritually through that light, and I just wrote a poem really quickly, actually I think it was a piece of a napkin, paper napkin. And then I kind of rewrote it. I made photocopies and I told my mom, I am sorry, but I'm not going to the funeral. I'm going to honor grandmother, taking my day of work. I'm going to go and sit by the lake. I'm going to grab some, she used to love these wildflowers, and I just did a bouquet of them. And I sat and I just was a beautiful moment to celebrate her spirit and feel that she was living on with all the wisdom she gave and all the pieces of her that are living and spread out in all the seeds of compassion and wisdom she spread while she was alive. And that was the best way for me to honor her, not crying. It wasn't a moment to cry. In my spirit, how I felt it. Of course, she was 86. She had had a full life. And I had realized that, this is what truly is celebrating life. It's a celebration of life. And in my country, it was more about mourning and dressing in black and just everybody being very sad. And I said, this is not a day to be sad about grandma. It's a day to celebrate. So the point of all this is that they wanted to force me to go, and I didn't want to go. So if I had gone, I would have felt so frustrated, so miserable. So what? Everybody was disappointed. My mom, I think, never forgave me. But in any case, I did what I felt was right in my soul, and I never looked back. I never regretted. But It took years for me to stand strong on my feet and said, no, enough. This is not what I want to be. This is not what I'm going to do. And literally thrive being me and choosing myself. So if this resonates with you, what are situations where you're constantly postponing yourself to please others, where you're constantly scattering your energy, your inner power outside of yourself? And how does that make you feel, most importantly? Does it make you feel authentic, or does it make you feel drained, and in due time it starts making you feel heavy and frustrated truly with yourself? Because when I don't respect and honor and align myself with my authenticity, the one who is frustrated is me, and I'm frustrated, I'm angry because I literally have betrayed me, and that's really a terrible thing to do. Now, why do we do that? Because we think it's wrong. We feel guilty about honoring ourselves before others. But what I discovered is that if I do honor myself, then I start flowering into the best version of myself. Then I can be happy. So, for example, I want to go skiing, but there's other obligations. But if I do go skiing, I come back, I can perform those obligations, feel more excited, happier, recharged, and passionate about my entire life and the process, and fully engaged. So the question is, figure it out. What are those little things where you perhaps are not being transparent and honest with yourself? And the reason you're not consistently honoring and aligning those pieces of you with the authentic self that you are, is to please others, is to abide by structures, is to really fit within a mold. And what could happen? What's the worst that can happen? You spend all your time doing certain things and pleasing others, and maybe it's creating frustration. At least that happens to me. What if you try something else? What if you put it to the test just for one day, just for one action, and then see what happens? What I believe is going to happen is that you'll start feeling a sense of expansion, of excitement about life, of engagement, and then the really best version of you will come forth, and you'll be able to manifest that to the world. That is at least what happens to me, and that is how I hope to inspire you to find yourself, to realign yourself with your authenticity and shine it out to the world, and be excited about life so that you can thrive being you. And if we all do that, we'll be stronger together, and we create this beautiful, radiant world. So if this message resonates with you and you want to put any of this to the test, and then comment below, or simply subscribe to my videos for more messages of this sort that can excite you about life and about being fully yourself without feeling guilty, truly like a mission, truly like the purpose of life. We came here to be ourselves. You came here to be you. You have a very specific face features. You also have a very specific heart and soul contract. Manifest it, and you'll see how everything will shine. It will be like a flower blossoming. So I cannot wait to see you radiant in the world. And in the meantime, I thank you for watching these videos. Love, peace, namaste.